Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Got a lot to get into here today. The Raw show last night, the SmackDown show Friday, Royal Rumble, MLW signing a new deal, lots of stuff to get into. So, first off, this Raw show last night, pretty good show. There were some hits and misses. I mean, you can very much see that Paul is working very hard to try to change things, but as I've said 1,000 times, it's a very, very uphill battle. You get through what you can get through, and sometimes it's a success, as was the case with Buddy Murphy last night. They actually got him into the top heel group, so this is going to be a tough one to go back on. Not like the Cedric Alexander push or like a dozen pushes that we've seen since Heyman took over. Guy gets 3 weeks. Vince doesn't think the guy's over, doesn't get it. Guy's done. This time, Buddy Murphy's in the group. I mean, they would have to actually shoot a big angle to get him out of the group now. So finally, somebody has actually been elevated. We'll see what it means. But I thought that overall the show was pretty good last night. It is still Raw. It's always going to be Raw, at least till Vince is gone. And so there's still... Like, I can't handle the announcers. I can't handle the backstage interviews. I mean, it just drives me out of my mind. Unless they did do a couple last night where there wasn't somebody asking questions. Those were good. But when somebody is back there asking stupid questions, and then, God bless Charlie, but like, no matter what question she asks, and no matter what answer she gets, she always has to look completely baffled by what the person just said. It's like, dude, you've been doing this for a while. Like, why are you still baffled by all of this? So there are still some negatives. I mean, the Lashley and Rusev match, I mean, for all that they put into that, nobody cares about this feud. The match wasn't very good, and it just keeps going. We got a mixed tag next week. But overall, they're trying. They're absolutely trying. You can see that they have plans for Humberto Carrillo. He's going to be involved with Andrade. You know, there's always those things like, why is Rey and Andrade a ladder match when the whole feud's been built around a mask? Well, it's because it's Raw and it's Vince. But hey, they're trying. So I got to give the show last night a thumbs up. What were your thoughts, Mike?
I don't know if I'm giving it as big of a thumbs up as I'm giving, or that you're giving it. You know, Brock Lesnar was a interesting segment in that.
Oh, that segment was great. Don't even bury that segment.
No, I'm not going to bury it, but it was fun. And, you know, much like Undisputed Era, it's like, I can't believe they flew him in here just to do that with that segment. I mean, Paul Heyman on his own in some ways could have done that. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have had the R-Truth ending with him getting splattered, but that's okay. You could have had Mojo Rawley, who lost a match earlier on, you know, win the title if you wanted him to in some other way. AJ and Orton is great, and the addition of Drew to that was fine with me. You know, it didn't, in some ways, you know, bottom line is, at the end of the day, those are a bunch of old pros that people want to see when it comes to Orton and AJ. So when you put them out there, people are going to be happy, even if the storyline is, I guess, in some ways kind of flimsy. I mean, I'm not even sure what exactly they're competing over, other than it's just two dads on the lawn, like, you know, kind of like battling back and forth with each other. You know, Ricochet, I can't be excited about Ricochet getting a win over Mojo Rawley. I mean, and
I'm
yeah,
not excited.
He's in limbo right now. I mean, that's the best you can say about where he's at. And they have done a good job with the AOP and the Viking Raiders, but I think to shower praise, even though maybe they're trying to make and do some things, I don't know how much praise I can really pile upon Paul Heyman, certainly not Vince, because we have not seen a completed product with Buddy Murphy yet. We haven't seen a completed project with Aleister Black yet. We just got it started. I mean, the best you can say is they haven't screwed it up. Same thing with Humberto Carrillo, even though he went out on a stretcher the last time out. So I don't know. I see why there's some vitality in the product. I do see what some people see as far as some excitement goes. I watched that show last night. There was some good, there was some bad, but it's just like every other Raw. It's hard to really toss gold stars out there, to me, in my opinion.
Oh, you're forgetting, dude.
What's that?
This show, I mean, for a while there, it was beyond god-awful. I mean, way beyond god-awful. This right here... Listen, the show, you're not going to have 1997 Raw right now. And, I mean, if we're going into this thinking that in order to have, like, 97 Raw quality Raws, that's the only way I'm going to praise it, like, Dude, I'm looking
Bryan.
for anything.
Brian,
We do this
they're
all the
giving
time.
you anything with like Charlotte and Sarah Logan. Has that been something you'd like to
No,
sink your teeth
obviously
into?
there's still going to be problems, but this show is much better now than it was several months ago. It's much better.
Can I say
and
the
so
biggest
I will
happy
praise
thing?
that.
Because I will say Seth Rollins being in the position he's in and kind of how they're portraying him, I think is perfect. I'm fine with that. And him as a heel, great. AOP at his side, good. You have two large men to fight for him. Buddy Murphy is a star, so they did that well. And what should never be forgotten about with these shows is how great Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens is. I would like to continue to see them aligned for as long as humanly possible and to continue to see them be two of the biggest baby faces on the roster. And I do. Kevin Owens, God bless him. Everybody's talking about the flip. I don't think anybody's really giving him enough credit for putting his life in his hands like that with two guys that are large enough to have caught that large man flying at them, but just went over like bowling pins because, well, they went over like bowling pins. They didn't know any better, I guess. So God bless him for taking that bump.